It's the Elite 11. 11 of the greatest NASCAR heat leagues remain in the contest, and we kick off round 3 in the Fast Family League Showdown with an exciting matchup. Number 2 versus number 8. It is the Espark Series powered by Filter Time, taking on the Online Motorsports Association from the virtual Daytona International Speedway in Daytona Beach, Florida. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Fast Family League Showdown on the White Lightning Racing League Twitch page. I am Ari Sakala, the voice of the WLRL. K Harvick Fan 429 will join us shortly, but first, let's check in with the commissioner of the tournament, Mr. Slide Job 1996. Good evening to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Marty. It's a great night tonight, and it's always a great night when we kick off a round. We are here in the Super Speedway round. I can't believe we're already here. 11 teams have moved on to this point, and we kick it off tonight at the most historic of the two tracks we'll be running in this round. As you mentioned, Daytona International Speedway. I'm super excited for tonight. It's going to be a crazy race. We got two great teams and an awesome track. So I am ready for this. So without further ado, let's meet our commentators for tonight. You just heard him, Mr. B Sports, or AKA Marty. How are you doing tonight, sir? This is your fourth race with us.
Well, I'm excited because, it's the Super Speedway, Daytona International Speedway, probably the most legendary Super Speedway on the NASCAR calendar. And more importantly, this is a big matchup, obviously, with Espark versus OMA, especially with Espark, because, a bunch of the drivers also come from the eNASCAR Heat Pro League. We'll get to more on that in a moment. But in the round of 11, pretty much anything can happen on these super speedways. We could have we could have favorites advancing. We could have underdogs pulling off the Cinderella story. It's going to be an exciting night, an exciting round.
Absolutely. I think you brought up two really key points in that. One being, Daytona is a very special racetrack in that it's not only a super speedway and a historic one, but it's also a crown jewel race. We saw the famous Charlotte Motor Speedway and the Coke 600 in the round one, and we're back with the second of the four. And if you were watching the broadcast last night, you heard it first. We got news that all of the crown jewel races will be present in the tournament at some point. So stay tuned on that. But yeah, here we are, second one, and yeah, the second point there was this is the track, or the round rather, that like you said, anything can happen. We can see anyone take down anyone, even some of these big teams that we saw do so well. I mean, these type of tracks are the great equalizer. So cannot wait. But alongside you, we have K Harvick fan. You've seen this man a bunch during the tournament, and he's back yet again. And we even heard it's your birthday today. So happy birthday! And I know you're excited for this race. Why don't you let us know?
Yeah, both of these leagues, of course, those of you that have paid attention or anything, Pete's talked about it a little bit when he streams. But this is a little bit more of a, I know this field a little bit better. Of course, commentating for Espark Xfinity, I'm pretty familiar with this field. We also did the OMA race at Watkins Glen in round number 2. And I also am pretty good friends with some of the guys over there, so I know a lot of guys in this field. This is going to be a great race, and you guys both brought it up. We're on a super speedway. While, yeah, I think Espark has probably got the upper hand coming in here, it is a super speedway. It might not necessarily be the fastest drivers. It might be the team that's going to work the best together. That's going to be a big key. A lot going on here. So it'll be fun. I'm happy.
I agree 100%. Tonight is really going to be about teamwork. It's not going to be about the necessarily fastest team. It's going to be who can stay together, who can get stage points, who can manipulate the draft and get it to work for them. Strategy, possibly a big player tonight. But yeah, you said it. And give those OMA guys some credit. We saw them in the last round have 6 guys finish the race versus 10 and still come out with a victory. So, even though Espark has outpointed them for sure and has the higher seed going into this round, it's still anyone's race. So I am excited, but let's let's keep this rolling and go trackside for some pre-race ceremonies.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much there, Slide Job. Have a great night up in the race control tower. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for those who are able to, please rise and remove your headwear for the playing of the U.S. National Anthem. Before we introduce tonight's matchup, ladies and gentlemen, let's show you the bracket and the rankings coming on in. We also, as well, at the same time, get into the NASCAR Heat Lobby so we can get rid of that awful music. I'm just kidding. But anyway, you see the bracket and the rankings coming in. Shake and Bake being the highest scoring team of the road courses, receiving a bye into the quarterfinals of short tracks. Winner of this race will take on the winner of number 6 eNASCAR Elite versus number 5 No Name Racing. First off, the number 2 ranked Espark Series coming off of a dominant 383-211 win over the Palmetto Racing League. These guys are some of the best custom setup racers right now and also have a numerous amount of drivers that raced in the eNASCAR Heat Pro League, 11 Pro League drivers, and 18 preseason drivers. Also today, they are the only and first Xbox League with an official title sponsor, Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s Filter Time, sponsoring the Cup Series. Over 60 full-time drivers across their 3 series. Harvick, they are here to race, and they are here to win.
Yes, sir. These guys, they're a fierce group of competitors. Of course, you mentioned the Pro League, so they got a lot of Pro League guys you'll see in a little bit when we get to the rosters. But, you know, don't count out OMA. Once again, this is a restrictor plate track. It's going to be about sticking together. Who can work the draft the best? It'll be interesting to see how these Pro League guys and their teammates stack up against the OMA guys, and will the OMA guys have anything for them? That's going to be the big question tonight. Remember, however, while, yes, you want to get through here, win this, and move on to the next round without any problems, this isn't your only chance. So you do have a little bit of security there that you can fall back on. Of course, we have the last chance race at Michigan, as well as the fan vote. So, you know, this isn't your only shot, but you definitely want to go ahead and get it done in one shot instead of having to revert to second and third chances.
Absolutely. We got the starting lineups for you here on your screen. Harvick, go ahead and read them off for us.
All right, so I'm going to do the Espark series. So, in the number 4 car is K. Rainey, 903. In the number 6, your first Pro League driver on this list is Asylums. In the 7 is Scott Hall for life. In the 11 is Captain. Excuse me. In the 16 is Fluffy. He's your second Pro League driver, followed by his teammate on the 21, that is Slade. Then, following that, excuse me, sorry, I just got the update. Okay, there we go. Alright, so, yes. At the 21, you have Slade. Then, we're going to make a little bit of a number jump here. 41, Toasted Gamers. 42, Big John. He will also be more than likely our onboard camera tonight, so we thank him for that. In the 88 is JRM Dohar. That's Pro League driver. He's also the league honor. And in the 9... Oh, nope. Okay, that's all for that. Okay, so then substitute drivers. Got Frydog in the number 10. Ryan Tedeschi, or B. Tedeschi, in the 22. Of course, another one of your Pro League guys. And Mr. Trackbar, another one of your Pro League guys in the 37. And finally, you have Chrome Capone in the 99.
Absolutely, and quick heads up for those guys seeing on the screen that there are some typos. Just to give you a quick heads up, Asylum will be racing in the number 6 tonight. Thought Crane 926 will be in the 62, and Trippy Tricks will be in the 8 for Online Motorsports Association. Speaking of them, let's talk about them, shall we? They're coming off of a 315 to 194 win over the Wolfpack Racing League. It would have been a close win for OMA, but Wolfpack had 2 false cautions leading to a landslide victory. 28 drivers across Cup and Xfinity using standard presets with manual cautions without stages, but a halfway bonus. If they want to win, they will have to have a full team and go 10 on 10, because last week they won down 2 drivers. But also, they'll have to rely on their main driver, who appears to be, he was the best of the team last week, though, Harvick. That man is Bit Skydiver.
Yes, sir. Bit pretty well dominated at Watkins Glen. I mean, he was unstoppable. Dominated stage 1. Even got sent to the back in stage 2 after an incident. Worked his way really aggressively back through the field. Got all the way back to the front. Worked his way very far out in front of the field. Even got a penalty. Had to stop on the racetrack. Still held on to the lead and ultimately brought home a win for them. And like you mentioned earlier, pretty impressive. They took that one away. Took that win as a team with a shortened roster. So they're capable of some impressive stuff.
Absolutely. Let's give you their starting lineup as you see on your screen. Philly season in the number 47, their team captain. Then in order, we've got Trippy Tricks. Remember, he's not in the 1. He is in the 8. Then we've got Expert Racing in the number 3. Thought Crane 926. He's in the 62 and is not in the 6. Drew LMAO, he is in number 12. Number 18 is March Nickel 70. Number 24, Blockman 810. Number 32 is Bit Skydiver 4424. And number 66 is NASCAR Chaos 15. As we look at the substitutes, we got Wub Network in the 17. It's Mizcraft in the 19. Swag Off, I believe is how it's supposed to be said, is in the 44. And Xskull 813 is in the number 13. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we are just waiting for qualifying. Should be beginning any moment, and we should be getting the invite. We don't have a lap counter at the moment from number 41, a Toasted Gamer himself. At the moment, says he is currently offline, so we're hoping, keep our fingers crossed, that we will be getting lap-by-lap updates from him and from his perspective. If not, if we're off by a lap or two, a few laps, we apologize for that for tonight's stream. But let's break down the race analysis for you. This is 100 laps, 250 miles. Stage 1 is set at 32 laps. Stage 2 should be about 30 laps. Stage 3, about 33. Because of the 3x pit window, will be about 14 to 16 laps around Daytona. And the pit road speed, 55 miles an hour. So for each stage here, Harvick, it looks to be about a 2-stop stage. And it's going to be like a fuel mileage stage as well. These guys are going to be pretty close. So some drivers could possibly make it on 1 stop as well.
Indeed, you look at the fuel 14, that's the low end of that mileage. That's going to put you pitting around lap 14 or lap 28. Now, this is all assuming, though, we don't have any cautions in these, which is a possibility. However, if you can make your fuel go all the way to that 16 mark, at least for stage number 1, you can make it on 1 stop. Now, you're going to have to save a little bit or at least make it last all the way to 16 on both of your fuel runs, for that stage, but you can split that into one stop. Stage 2, all you have to do is go 15 laps per tank instead of 16 to make it on one. Now, stage 3, though, the 33 lapper, that's going to be where the stretches out a little bit. You can do it on 2. We're still in the same windows. However, if you try to do it on 1, you're going to have to probably save an extra lap somewhere within that, because you're going to have to go at least 17 on one run.
And we have
Unless
just
you want
gotten
to
the
try to
invite
split it
for.
across 2.
Yep, sorry to interrupt you there, but we have just gotten the invite, and we are about to begin qualifying here at the Daytona International Speedway. Now, let's talk about qualifying real quick, because this is a game-time decision. We were in the owners' meeting with Dohar and Philly, and it was either going to be solo car qualifying, or it would be tandem-style qualifying. Slide job, a.k.a. Anthony. Do we have an official decision on that, or not yet?
Repeat that one more time.
Is it solo or tandem qualifying?
It's solo tonight.
10-4, thank you very much. So there you heard it. It is going to be single car qualifying. They should be going off about every 5 seconds or so. So once again, while we are waiting for it to load on up, let me get your keys to the race here, Harvick. Give me 3 keys to watch out for.
Well, and I just thought about it myself. First one's going to be, don't get yourself any penalties. In the road course round, we had things like track cutting penalties. That was costly. Well, here, we have a little bit different kind of penalty. In a way, it's cutting the track, but that double yellow line that becomes a big topic during these plate races in real NASCAR, real life. That's going to be a factor tonight here as well. If you pass or even just pull up alongside of a car beneath that yellow line, you're going to be mandated to do a pass-through on pit road. That right there could be really costly. If you got to do that under green, you don't want to have to do that. My second key is don't get yourself any damage. If you get yourself damaged, you're full throttle around here the entire time. So anything that slows your car down is not only going to hurt, and you got to work as a team. What's going to hurt your team too? Because that's one less car, theoretically that they're going to have to work with for speed. It's going to slow them down a little bit. You're not as fast. And aerodynamics is a big deal. My third key is getting on and off pit road. Don't get in trouble getting on pit road. Make sure you be safe either signaling or just pulling down. This is a pretty difficult pit road to get on in terms of speed when you're in a group of cars. You're going from 200 plus miles an hour all the way down to pit speed, which is 55 miles an hour here. So that's a lot. And you mentioned you got people around you. You don't want to check them out, get any damage or get spun, things like that. It hurt you, hurt your team, hurt pit times, all those things. You also don't want to get penalized coming out. You go above that apron or above that double yellow line before the back straightaway, start of the back straightaway, you're going to get in trouble. So those are my 3 keys. They're all very crucial, and they're all having to do with saving yourself time, saving yourself penalties and trouble.
Absolutely. I'll give you my 3 keys. Number 1, it's not going to be a surprise to everyone when it comes to super speedways, but draft. We're not going to say anything that much about it, but when it comes to Daytona, you need to have the draft if you want the speed and want to win it. Number 2, the low line. Unlike the Talladega Super Speedway where the high line in the turns can work, most likely the passing in the turns will be done on the inside groove. The outside would be tough unless you have a freight train behind you helping you out. On the straightaways, though, it is a little bit easier to pass high, but you will need help. Expect a single file freight train early in the stages until the final laps of the stage. And like you said earlier, you gotta be careful of that double yellow line. Remember the rules. You're just like in NASCAR as you see cars are being put onto the racing surface. The double yellow line rules, you cannot advance your spot position under the double yellow line. It will lead to a pass-through, and you cannot force someone below the double yellow line. It would lead to a black flag penalty as well for pass-through. If it happens on the last lap and someone forces someone through, that will lead to a last place finish, and the race control will be strict about this. You cannot, even if you allow the position, give the position back, you will still be forced to serve a pass-through penalty. Number 3, do not pit alone. Don't be surprised if we have teams coming in at the same time. A lot of strategy happening here, and if a driver pits by himself, he will, number one, have no draft, and number two, lose a bunch of speed. I would expect the teams coming in together at the same time, possibly. Obviously, all depending on starting positions. I do have a fourth key, by the way. 10 laps to go. It is a sprint race. These drivers will have to take it easy, but at the same time, they need every point they can to help their team. Remember, they don't want to cost an opponent a loss of time and points, and it could lead to some affections as well. It is very stern by race control tonight. If you intentionally slow a line down, manipulating a race, pull a Michael Waltrip racing strategy per se, it's going to be a lot of major consequences to keep in mind. Philly season, as you can see, he's completed his qualifying lap. Same with Expert Racing. 62 of Thought Crane completing his qualifying lap. Now we look at March Nichols 70 and the number 18 for Online Motorsports Association. My final key, those were my 4 keys. Now let's talk about the setup. I'm going to take a guess here on the setup, Harvick, that you would want to use. It's probably going to be on a super speedway, the loosest setup, number 8.
Not always, because believe it or not, as the race goes on, one of the things that you will find, especially in draft, you can get loose, and it's not so much by yourself, but you're going to be pushing and shoving each other to try to gain speed on these straightaways. So, when that happens, you can get loose. I would probably say, personally, this is my driving style now. I do like a tighter race car, but probably wouldn't go any further than a balanced 5, right smack dab in the middle. Anything further than that might be a little bit loose. But I will tell you what these guys will probably end up doing. This is a pretty common setup for a plate. On the presets, when you come into pit, and this might sound really weird, but you're going to crank all your tire pressures all the way to the max 60 pounds in all 4 tires. You're going to maybe drop your wedge a little bit, and you're probably going to crank your tape up to about 50% tape. You want that grill covered. You want to get as much speed as you can out of that car without blowing the engine up. That's probably going to be your setup. I don't know. Some of these guys, though, do like looser cars. That might go looser than what I said, but that would be what I would do. That would be my recommendation.
Here's one of the bigger names of the eNASCAR Heat Pro League on the track right now. That's Mr. Track Bar 33. And coming on in, Harvick, you and I were expecting that he wasn't going to be racing tonight. But look at that. The alternate has filled in the number 37. Almost, I believe, because I didn't watch most of the eNASCAR Heat Pro League. I don't know about you, Harvick. But I believe he was also close to taking the championship there on the Xbox side for JTG Doherty Esports.
Well, not only was it the Xbox side, it was overall. They cut down and ended up doing the final race on PCs, put all 28 drivers on the same racetracks at once. It was a 3-race thing, 3-race duel, I guess you could call it. They went from 8 to 6 to 4. Those 4 drivers battled it out at Bristol under the lights for the championship. It came down to him. In the 37, that was Mr. Trackbar. In the 13 of Daniel Buttafuoco, or Lucky Dog 38. There was a little bit of contact made, yeah, coming off the corner. Some wall contact as well. The two got together. 37, Trackbar went up on the wall. Ended up finishing second. Daniel Buttafuoco in the 13 ended up coming home with the win, the championship and the prize money and fame that go with that. But he had a great season, absolutely dominant. I don't remember how many wins he had on Xbox. And by the way, I will point out too, a little bit of a bragging thing for Xbox side. But the top 2 in that championship battle, those 2 that raced both on the Xbox side. So they held their own against the PlayStation guys. Just sort of bragging, right? But no, but we all love each other still. Both sides, it's one big community. But no, there was some contact. Second, had a lot of wins as well. In both seasons that he's been in so far, he's fast. Almost scary.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about that. Let's give you your track analysis here around the Daytona International Speedway. 2.5-mile super speedway tri-oval. The turns are banked 31 degrees. The tri-oval, as you can see, one of the cars just making their way by that tri-oval. It's one of the Mustangs we've got in the field. I believe that's Slade, and it is. 18-degree tri-oval. 3 degrees are in the straightaways. Front stretch you see is 3,800 feet long. The backstretch, the Daytona Super Stretch, is 3,000 feet long. So I believe everyone is concluded with qualifying. And
This is Mr. Slide Job in the Fast Family Racing car today. And if you would like, I can take you on a little trip around Daytona International Speedway if you'd like.
Absolutely, do it for us. We're going from the chase perspective here. So come on, Slide Job. Take it away, my man.
All right, here we are. Well, the main thing about this track is that we are flat to the floor, wide open around this whole thing. The key here is you see on the left of me that yellow line. We're going to be talking about it a lot tonight. I'm sure the broadcasters will be covering it. You'll see some calls. The drivers cannot go below that yellow line to pass or advance their position or even force somebody below it. So you're going to see a ton of cars just hugging it. You know, this is the preferred line. You have a lot more speed down here if you get linked up. It's very hard to get the top line going, so we're going to ride this, the bottom of the track all the way around. You see just wide open. The big trick for those of you controller drivers out there is just keeping a steady line on that yellow line, but you're going to want to wrap it, and you'll see a lot of people, it's almost called bottom feeding by some, but you can see and just keeping a nice steady line, full throttle all the way around. And for the second lap, we're actually going to run the wall, which is a little bit more tricky of a go around the course. But if you get enough guys, it can actually work and you can pull away. So here we are. We're going to hit the line there and switch to the high lane. Much trickier because you have the wall there. If you make a mistake on the bottom line, you know, you have a little bit of room to wiggle around, and hitting the apron won't kill you. But here, if you hit the wall, it's going to be a big bummer for you. You're going to lose tons of positions, or it may even cause an accident. So you'll see, hopefully we'll see some drivers make use of the high line, get enough with their teammates to get a line going, and we'll see some side-by-side racing. But yeah, definitely more difficult but worthwhile line to run on the track. You know, obviously a longer way around, but definitely just as much fun. And there you go. There is Daytona International Speedway.
Look at that. That deserves a round of applause right there. That was amazing. That's a new track record. Don't hit the guys! Oh, he hit someone! Oh, he goes around into the inside wall! Oh, and he flipped someone over. Who was that? That was Twist. That was Trippy Tricks. Man, I guess you could say Anthony tripped over the tricks of number 8.
Yeah,
well,
and that we'll see that happen tonight. Some wrecks.
And yeah, that's another one of my keys to watch out for. Yeah, the big one, absolutely, on these super speedways. You no doubt about it. Got to be careful in those packs. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. It is a ticking time bomb that we never know will go off until we watch it explode. So yeah, once again, I believe we're just waiting on getting the who's starting on pole. Meanwhile, let's take a look at well, he was doing burnouts for a little bit, and that is Big John Puck. Man,
his stream is up, by the way.
Yes, I do see that. Yeah, that's what I was watching, by the way. Let's see, who else is getting their pre-race snack of donuts? I think everyone's just waiting here. Meanwhile, I think let's go to K. Rainey here in the number 4 machine. I think he added a little bit too many bush lights. I don't know, because he's driving forward, driving backwards. Yeah, look at that! Look at that! We're just having a little fun for right now, though, as we're just waiting for qualifying to wrap up, and I think it has finally wrapped up. Welcome to, for right now, as of the moment we got 22 viewers, we'd like to welcome everyone watching at home, including Mark Silas, who's saying, let's go OMA. Fabico Gamer says, hopefully they have a good race tonight, and hello to the legendary My Pillow guy, Rock NASCAR 388. I like to mess around with him on that from time to time. Wishes the best of luck to all the drivers tonight. Raspbill says, dang dude, no need to blow the speakers. John Frey says, what was that? Raspbill says, slide right into someone. Slide job, you need to hear this. Frey says, park him. All right, so let's get the starting lineup here while we are at it. As let's just confirm who's on pole real quick, and then we will back out of this lobby ASAP. So let's see here. Starting on... Oh, we got 30 seconds until we got back out. So, yeah, no thank you. So on the pole is Mr. Trackbar 33 with a 46.516. We don't know who's starting second, but starting in third is Drew LMAO with a time of 46.589. Second... Excuse me. Drew's going to start in second. Because you want to know why? Slide Job actually got second spot. Come on, dude. Good job. Blockman's going to start third with a 46.594. Starting in fourth will be Fluffy, 46.596. Starting in the sixth position will be Scott Hall for Life, 46.615. Starting in seventh spot will be Slade. Starting in eighth position will be Thought Crane, 46.634. In the 10th position, as we wait to get that, will be Big John Puff, 46.642. That's in 9th. In 10th is NASCAR Chaos 15, 46.661. In the 11th spot, we're trying to see if the 41 can load on up. Yeah, 10 Forcer. But that's your top 10 for your starting lineup here for the opening round of the Elite 11. Harvick, we're just about a minute or two away from the green flag. Lobby is still paused at the moment. Final thoughts.
Well, you look at the starting lineup there. I see quite a few Espark guys up there at the front, so that's going to allow them to probably get formed up pretty quickly. I'm going to assume, and I think it's a pretty safe assumption. I mentioned it earlier, but for this race, you're going to want to be with your teammates. Obviously, you're probably going to want to strategically map out in your line of teammates, who's the best leading, who's the best pushing, things like that, to maximize your speed. That's something that each team will more than likely have practiced with at some point in the days leading up to this.
Those of you who have just tuned in, yeah, absolutely, and the countdown is on, just a few seconds away from race time. The opening round, if you've just joined us, it's the opening round of the Elite 11, round 3 of the Fast Family League Showdown, coming to you from the Virtual World Center of Racing, the Daytona International Speedway. The Espark Series takes on the Online Motorsports Association. I'm Ari Sakala, joined alongside of K Harvick Fan 429 on the call for tonight. And we are good to go.
Go ahead and join.
On in. All right, there you can see it. We are ready to go. This is based off of the Daytona 500. So once again, your race analysis. 100 laps, 250 miles. Stage 1 set at 32 laps. Stage 2 about 30 laps. Stage 3 about 33. Pit window about 14 to 16 laps. Pit road speed about 55 miles per hour. Some of the drivers from the eNASCAR Heat Pro League, all from Espark, that are in the field tonight. Asylums, Fluffy, Slade, Dohar, and then some of the alternates that are part of it. Frey Dog, Tedeschi, and Trackbar. All of them from Espark, no one from the Online Motorsports Association that are that competed in the eNASCAR Heat Pro League. Definitely a big honor to call this one. It's the opening round of the opening race in the Elite 11. Number 2, number 8, Espark versus Online Motorsports Association at the World Center of Racing. It's gonna be a fun one. We want you all to sit back, relax, and enjoy this showdown here at Daytona. It's time to turn them loose and drop the sledgehammer. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's showtime in Daytona. Good start on the inside line there. Good start there on the... Yeah, go ahead.
They're 1 and 2. You see the inside already starting to prevail a little bit. That's going to be a common theme tonight. Slide Job, you saw him talk about it a little bit, or I guess heard him talk about it while he was driving. In qualifying, showing us a couple laps around here, it's going to prevail. It's going to be hard to make that outside work. You're going to need some help and some teammates to go with you to do it.
Going into turns 3 and 4 for the first time on that 31-degree banking. There you can see it's a single file train And you got the legendary track bar out in front. Blockman behind him, currently in second. Philly Season is in third spot. And track bar leads lap 1 for Espark. There you can see it's a single file freight train. One guy by himself on the top side who is left out to dry and plummeting back to the field. I think he found a spot in line. That is the number 42 machine. Let's get his number here real quick. That's Big John Push. Show him up on the screen. He started inside of the top 10 and fell back. Some drivers try and make some moves here on the outside. The EC Slade trying to make a run, but nothing's working just yet. Two other guys on the outside. It's Tricks and Export. But once again, that Highline's got no grip right now.
Well, it's kind of early right now, too, to make some moves. It's a long stage. Still got about anywhere from 12 to 14 laps before pit stops start to begin. So you have some time to wait around. You don't need to do anything too crazy right now. You see these guys pushing, you hear the contact. They're pushing, trying to get some speed. Pushing the car in front of you will help that, as long as you don't damage your nose, which is something that can and has happened in the past. So you look at that and you think, well, why aren't these guys making moves? Very simple. Don't want to damage the car. Don't want to get strung out to dry with nobody with you and then lose the draft.
Noticing as well for a moment there, I think it was on Blockman's end. He got a little bit loose there off of turn 4, so he probably has his preset turn to the right. Seeing as well, there's a little bit of a big gap between Toasted Gamers. Well, let's pop him up here on the screen. And somebody else in front of him. Well, it was a gap until we just got that huge draft off of Toasted Chaos. Trying to get a run here on the outside, but nothing's working out for that guy in the 41, hanging out way in the back of the 18 car pack rather, currently running in the 14th spot.
Yeah, not in position right now to get stage points. Still a long way to go. I don't know if maybe he's dropping back there to maybe save a little bit of fuel. We talked about pre-race. That is an option these guys have depending on where or fuel changes, where they run out, whether you can go 14, 15, or 16 laps. If you can get to that 16 lap marker on your fuel for both of these runs, you can cut out a pit stop, which is very, very beneficial. I expect quite a few guys in here to be willing and wanting to do that.
Don't know if you just noticed that as well on your end, Harvick, but one of the spin cars, I think it was, just touched the apron in turn number 2, and that was one of my keys coming in. It was either Slade or the car behind him, which may be Fluffy. You can take a look at that real quick and see who is behind the driver of the 21. Now, actually, that's the 88 of Dohar that just clipped the apron. You got to be careful clipping the apron in those turns, because that car can go up the high side and you could possibly lose a lot of spots. But the driver behind Dohar, that's in the number 6 machine of Asylums, just let him back in line.
Those guys' teammates, not too surprising there. Don't want to get rid of your teammate, because at the end of the day, you're both racing for the same points. The other thing too, you got to be careful with the double yellow line and hitting it. You could open yourself up to, like you said, shot up the track, or you can also check up the line behind you. You can cause guys to get some damage. You can let the guys in front of you get away from you. A lot of things, a lot of risks that come with that. You don't want them.
Slade trying to make some moves and go up the high side of the turn, either trying to see if he can get some help on the draft. Either that, or his car's just a little bit tight right now. You see another car just got onto the apron. Was Thought Crane for OMA. Doesn't lose really that much time, though. Another car trying the outside is Rainy. But again, nothing working there just yet. I see two guys, by the way, in the back of the field that have decided to bow out of this single file freight train. Just playing it safe for right now. Can't confirm who it is. Let's go through the field real quick. I apologize for the spazzing there, as someone was saying in chat earlier. That's a Bit Skydiver in the 32, who was one of the best drivers in round number 2 at their road course. And same with March Nickel. They're in the back of the pack. Are they just trying to play it safe for right now, Harvick? They're just trying to avoid a possible big one in this stage?
They might be. That's definitely one option, but I don't see that being the main reason. As you can see, a lot of these guys are pretty calm and pretty tame right now. The likelihood of them wrecking at the moment is pretty low. I think what they might be trying to do, we talked about it, might be back there just running slower lap times, trying to get themselves a lap or two of fuel so they can cut out a pit stop. And it's always helpful to have a partner back there with you to draft off of, so you can have a buddy to pit with, because they're going to be on a different pit cycle as well. They're going to pit at different times compared to some of these other guys.
We put the view back to the front of the field, and now look at this track bar stuck on the outside. He may, nope. I think the 24 machine of Blockman just let him back in line. Slade currently running, assuming that's not Slade, that's Fluffy, currently running in third in the 16. Off of turn 2. They're testing the high line out, trying to see if anyone will go with them to try and get by track bar, but no, they just want to be conservative for right now. And oh, look at that. We got some guys trying the outside, led by Jonpa. And he's side by side with the number 12 of Drew. That's for position number 5 on the racetrack. Looks like we're going to get some 2x2 racing here happening in a moment. And that's a nice little freight train they got upstairs.
They finally got some guys formed up. You see Big John leading that. He's an Espark guy. Drew, he's trying to pass him. That's an OMA guy, so that's points for Espark if they can get him. He's got some help. We'll see if he can get it done. It's going to be hard. He's going to have to really execute the side draft.
Blockman coming in the top side, and it's going to cost him 2 positions. One of them goes to the 16 of Fluffy. He's up to second spot. In third is Philly Season for OMA. That is the highest driver right now for the Online Motorsports Association. The 12 machine of Drew now up to 4th spot on the track. 5th is Thought Crane, and 6th spot is now Jonpa. So some drivers tested that high line, but didn't really work one bit. They come across the stripe here. We'll give you a lap check here. We got 22 laps to go here in stage 1. So we should be about maybe 5 laps from now from pit stop. Tarvik, what's gonna be, if I'm a driver, what are you doing for that first pit stop?
Well, first of all, I'm not getting myself wrecked. Make sure if you can, you try to signal. They're single file, so there shouldn't be too much of an issue for these boys. They can signal. Signaling, usually the universal signal for that. I'm using signaling way too much. But anyways, drop down below the yellow line a little bit on the back straightaway and just kind of let everybody know, hey, I'm coming in, don't run over me. Usually on the back straightaway, and then you come down pit road. You don't want to speed, don't want to check anybody up behind you. And I will say, if you look at the top 6 here, you got pretty evenly split. You got 3 Espark guys up here, and you got 3 OMA guys up here in this top 6. So pretty evenly split. What that means, in the sense of the pit stops, if these guys are really going to pit as teams and they pit on different laps, there could be a little bit of risk there as far as miscommunication between them, as well as the packs getting split up because guys pull out of line to go down to pit road. That could be something that
42
shakes up
in the wall,
a lot, as well as the craft. Ooh.
Yeah, 42 there of Jonpa on the wall in the field, accordion back, and now he drops back down to the bottom of the track. That was a close call there for the leader, for that, maybe that lead pack. What'd you see that I missed?
I saw some hard contact with the wall. That might have been lag, but what I'm also seeing, I just noticed it, this pack's starting to split up a good bit, especially towards the middle, further on back. It's split up quite a bit.
Yes, it's that 4
FYI,
car.
Marty, it's Big John. Big John, not John Pa.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, top 4 have a breakaway on the field. Now, they got a nice little toe off of the 62, and Slade's got to run topside. He's up to 3rd. He's looking for 2nd on his eNASCAR Heat Pro League teammate of Fluffy, and he could be challenging for the race lead. Here he comes to the outside, coming to the stripe. Are we going to have a new leader here? Is it going to be Slade or is it going to be Track Bar? Slade by just a bumper.
These Spark guys getting racy up here. They like going to the front, even though they're on the same team. It's still nice to lead the race. I'm a little bit surprised by this, though, because we're about 2 laps away from pit stops probably beginning, 2 or 3. So I'm a little bit surprised at the racing like this. But yeah, this is going to slow them down a little bit, maybe allow some of these guys behind to catch up and start to form up a run.
Slade's got a nice little push coming from Dohar with Big Jonpa right behind him on the 3rd car on that outside line, 4th car on the outside line, is Scott Hall for life as they come off of turn 4. Slade, the previous lap, made the first lead change of the race and our second different leader. And that number 21 Speed 4 Mustang. Oh, hang on there. That 41 a little bit loose of Toasted Gamers there coming across the start-finish line. He saved it. That may have been a little bit of a lag spike there. That was a little bit close. He bows out just behind the number 3 of Expert Racing. Slade right now, if he wants to clear down to the bottom of the track in front of Track Bar, he wants to. But I don't think Harvick, he wants to leave Dohar out in the front of that high groove.
No, he doesn't. All these Espark guys that are up here, the 37, the 21, the 88, the 42, they're all teammates. You don't want to leave them out. You don't want to drop your teammate out to dry because after those 3 or 4 guys up in that outside line, there's nobody else there. So you leave them out there, they're going to fall like a rock. And
we got one guy coming in.
That's going to hurt you in the points category.
Oh, Track Bar, the only driver in that lead pack to come in. He does have one man behind him. And that's Rainey, and that is going to hurt him back a few spots because when he exits pit road, Rainey's still going to be in his stall, and that's not what you want right now.
Well, and this is on the early end of that pit sequence, too. You look at it, I believe we're on lap 14 right now. So when you look at this, they still have to make one more pit stop, these two. We'll see who else comes in on the next lap because even they will be a little bit short unless they can ink an extra lap of fuel and go to 17 on this next run. But
fuel lights are on. Here we go
for these guys.
Oh, we got a car spinning. That's Trippy Tricks and involved as well as Drew. Coming into pit road, Tyler Ruddigax, and that should be a yellow. They're all scrambling on the entry of pit road at a 55-mile-an-hour speed limit. We'll wait for the call here from race control.
Well, going back to Track Bar. These guys are coming out of the pits. The caution is going to come out. These guys have to race back to the start-finish line. Well, the lead pack got by them. I don't know if they're going to get called a lap down or not. It looks like
still
they
green
will.
flag.
It could have worked
off
really
the track.
well. Oh, we are.
Yeah, we're still green flag racing.
So they're lapped.
Yeah, pace car not out on the track. So let's see who's coming in next here amongst the leaders. But yeah, we saw that it looks like everyone's coming down pit road this time. But Trippy Tricks did something, Tyler Ruddigax, and the irony there, because driving the 8 in the NASCAR Cup Series is Tyler Reddick, and he's been a part of those situations before. But yeah, everyone coming down that have not pitted yet, this should have... Well, I don't know who's going to be in the race lead here. We'll have to confirm in just a moment, as we'll watch Scott Hall for life in his pit stall. Looking to be 4 tires and Sunoco racing fuel for that brand Chevy. He's got one of those Pro League schemes on that livery. And Slade's going to come out in front of Big Johnpa. Slade was leading the pack coming into pit stop. So I believe he would be the provisional race leader. We'll have to confirm with race control on that in just a moment. Yes, we can confirm Slade is the race leader, and John Perez currently running in second. The estimated fuel right now is about 15 laps. We'll have to wait and see what lap the driver of the number 42 of Big John Perez as they come across the start-finish line. So now these drivers are probably going to single file freight train, but there's a move there for second spot. Doc Crane just made a pass on the outside of Big Jumpa, and he's going for the race lead here on Slade.
Big move right here. He wants this. He wants that spot. Points for his team as well. And especially with this field being so spread out now, it's going to be a lot harder to make passes. Not as much opportunity for drafting and getting big runs. For the most part, you see some packs, they're a little bit smaller though than what we had seen before. So in that, if you can take an opportunity to get a pass and you can achieve it, go for it.
Looking like these guys will be good to go the rest of the way. Other guys, like possibly Track Bar, may have to go one additional stop. We got a 3-car single file freight train here. Harvick, you may want to fix your mic there, boss. Thought Crane, though, currently in the race lead for Online Motorsports Association. Slade currently in second. Big John Parr in third. Those guys in second and third respectively are representing Espark. Let's go to that second train at the moment if we can find it on our screens. There's Dohar leading the second train, currently in fourth. He may get a nice tow here coming off of Big Jumpa. Behind him, you got Fluffy in car number 16 running in 5th, and that's going to merge into one big Amtrak train.
Alright, hopefully my mic's better, guys. Sorry about that. But no, yeah, these guys are starting to pack back up now and making runs. You mentioned different pit strategies now.
Dohar going to the outside, and no one's going to go with them. Bye-bye, Dohar. He goes, going to get relegated back to the line. Now, looking at this at the moment, this will move Scott Hall up into the position Dohar was previously at. Expert Racing behind him. He's currently in 6th, and then Drew is in 7th. You can see the guys in 6 and 7. They do have some damage on their cars, but it looks like, Harvick, that aero damage is not really affecting them one bit.
Indeed. Well, I say that, but then they're slipping off a little bit. Not too terribly bad, though. I think they'll be able to hang. They're going to have to be careful, though, and really be mindful of what they do, because depending on how the damage is, and we can't see that, but if it's bad enough and they, somehow get moved out of that draft, they're going to fall off the draft a lot faster than someone without damage would, so you got to be careful with that.
Absolutely. Looking back of this line, let's go back to the battle for, I think that's for 10th on the track. You can see some contact between the 8 and the 24. I want to go up to the front of the field for who started on pole, and that was Track Bar. This is the battle for the 10th and final spot. Track Bar currently in 11th spot, and 10th is Toasted Gamers. They're both on the Espark team. 9th is Asylum. He's also on Espark. And 8th, I'm trying to see who that is. It's one of the Chevy Camaros in the field. Let's see if you can see right there. We can't really get a nice visual representation off of that. We may get it right here off of turn 4. And it actually looked to be Dohar. I think he actually fell back to the second path. And he did. So all 4 Espark guys, 4 working together. Harvick, fix your mic, man. Your mic is really staticky there. No offense, by the way. Then he got a third pack here. If I'm this third pack, you got nothing to lose right now. Right now, just stay single file. Don't risk damaging that car a lot more. Obviously, we got the stage caution coming up in a little bit. Right now, Harvick, I'll put it back to you. Hopefully your mic is fixed. I think right now in stage 1, the side is currently going to Espark, led by, Dohar leading the team, obviously, but the man that's been a big part of leading the field for Espark has been Track Bar and Slade.
Indeed, but I do want to point something out. Hopefully my mic's better again. I don't know why it's doing that. I apologize, everyone. But the thing with Track Bar, if you go back to when he pitted, as of right now, he and also the 4 of Rainey, that's the only ones I know of, are going to have to make at least there'll only be one more pit stop. Now, what they can take on that pit stop can kind of vary, depends on how long they feel they need to be in there, if they need tires, what fuel they need to take. But regardless, they have to come down pit road one more time. What that could lead to, we saw Track Bar and Rainey both get lapped when they came in the first round. This pack up here, they've all gotten packed up pretty well. I'm actually a little bit surprised by how well.
Whoa, we got a car on the wall. It's Drew. Drew got up in the wall there, and he's stuck on the outside. He's trying to tuck back in line, but no one's going to give him any room to move into. And now it looks like that's one of the spin cars going to the back. Is that Slade? Nope, that may be the 16 of Fluffy. And that was Fluffy. That fell back to about maybe the 5th position, and it was. 4th is Expert. 3rd is Jampa. And I think, did I just see another car come in? And yes, we did. That was Blockman. I don't know if he got in a wreck or something like that. But tough break for the 24, and he's going to go a lap down here. But I think he's the only car currently a lap down at the moment, and that would give him the 3 pass.
Indeed. Well, we'll see. It depends how the rest of this cycles through. Like I mentioned, the risk of these guys that have to make a second pit stop is they might get lapped once again, like they were when the first round started. We'll have to see. It kind of depends on who all can make it on just that one stop versus who has to pit again. There will be more than just these 2 that have to pit again, I believe, because of the fact, there was a lot of guys that pitted on lap 15. So, pretty mixed bag here. It's kind of up in the air.
Slade with a move on the outside. He's back out front with a nice pass, with a nice draft, from Big Jumpa. They're side by side for position number 4. That's Dohar on the outside. Man, Thought Crane just fell back like 4 or 5 spots there. That's unfortunate for the driver of the 62.
Indeed, he wants those points for OMA. Of course, a couple of their drivers got caught up on a wreck earlier, so that's not helping them too much. Of course, multiple guys have had trouble, but that was our near caution to this point. One of their, or actually, I believe 2 of their drivers involved in that. I know one was Trippy, and I believe the other was the 12 of Drew. So, look at that, and you think, well, they need points. Drew's still hanging on pretty well, but I do not know where Trippy went.
Expert Racing also fell to the back of the pack. So if I'm looking at this correctly, the top 4 right now represent Espark. Highest guy for OMA currently stands in the 5th position, and that's Drew right now in that Advanced Auto Parts Ford Mustang. Then you got Asylum currently in 6th position, Track Bar in 7th. 8th would be Toasted Gamers. 9th then would be Thought Crane, and 10th Expert Racing. So yeah, no surprise, OMA currently on a tear. And look at this, Drew's gonna go back again. This is not the start that OMA wants. Oh, we got a car on the wall, and that was Toasted Gamers. He saves it luckily in turns 3 and 4. I think he bails out of the draft. He's one of the Espark drivers, so that kind of helps out Team OMA just a little bit, but not a lot. These OMA drivers, though, Harvick, they really need to work together if they want to get to more points. We got 4 laps to go in stage 1, and right now, Espark is just dominating the stage.
Indeed, but I do believe, and I might be wrong, I might have just seen the pace car, but I think I saw somebody dive down to pit road there coming towards the line. So that is another thing that's going to happen if it's going to happen. Oh, pass through. Okay, so we do have penalties being given out. You mentioned that, so that's going to hurt you too. I don't know exactly who it was that went down. It was very brief that I saw it, but I did see it. That's a pass through. But if any of these guys are not to pit for fuel again, it's going to be probably this time by. Pit road closes at 2 laps to go on the stage, meaning that if you pit, you're going to get come feel like it was a speeding penalty. You're going to be held there for an extra 15 seconds. So you might get lapped. Don't want to do that. If they're going to come, they're going to come probably this time.
Well, if you had to pit, though, you would have had to do it right now, because once the leader crosses the stripe and it hits 2 to go, pit road is immediately closed. So if you come into a closed pit, that's going to signal a penalty. So I don't know how Track Bar is looking right now on fuel, obviously, as he was the first one to pit. But if he had to pit, it would have had to been last time by. I think he's good to go the rest of the way, especially in this draft he is in. 2 laps to go here in stage 1, and the top 6 rather, if I'm looking at that correctly, top 7 now, all occupied by Espark. So that is about, if I'm doing my math correctly, that's about maybe 50 points they're getting on right now on these drivers from OMA. There's the 62s on the wall.
Something like that. It's a lot. Now, of course, OMA with a little bit shortened field from what we're used to. Only 18 cars in the field for tonight. But OMA is guaranteed at least 1 stage point. Hopefully for them, they can get more than that. But as a default, they're guaranteed the 1 stage point, so they can't get too much less than that, or too much more than that right now. Sorry, I had to do something real quick. But no, they need to get everything they can. It's getting to crunch time, and after this stage, you really set yourself up for how you got to run the rest of your race as a team.
Down the Daytona Super Stretch for the final time in Stage 1. 10th position currently belongs to Drew LMAO for OMA. 9th spot belongs to the 62 of Thought Crane. Track Bar trying to make some moves on the outside to gain some stage points. I think he's just doing that for fun. He's got Jompa working with him. Jompa on the outside. I don't think it's going to work for Stage 1. These guys are just having a lot of fun right now. Coming to the stripe. Slade's going to get some help from his eNASCAR Heat Pro League teammate of Fluffy. He takes Stage 1 and a photo finish for that. Fluffy takes 2nd. Dohar takes 3rd. Jompa goes into 4th position. 5th belongs to Asylum. 6th Track Bar. 7th Scott Hall. 8th Expert Racing. We're waiting for 9th and 10th. 9th goes to Thought Crane and 10th goes to Drew LMAO. Fun race in stage 1 at the end, but advantage goes to Espark early on.
So we'll get a point update soon here, but and I'll be interested to see also, hopefully it shows on Big John's stream, but how many cars we have on the lead lap. It should be quite a few, but it'll be interesting to see who maybe is a lap down due to either penalty or pit strategy and the way it worked out compared to everyone else's, and also what teams they're from, because that's going to either help or hurt you too.
Real quick, I can confirm March Nickel will get the free pass currently in 17th of this 18-car field. There is one guy 2 laps down, and I believe that's the 24 of Blockman. So as we get ready to go back to the green flag, Fluffy is in command with Slade in second. Let's crank it up for you. Enjoy the engines for one full lap. There's that single file freight train we were looking for to begin stage number 2. And right now it's Fluffy out in front with Slade currently in second. The Spin Guys currently 1-2. Right now this single file freight train, Harik, you probably want to call the spin zone for right now. Third spot Asylums for Espark. But yeah, these guys just going to be conservative in stage 2 for right now. And we can confirm real quick,
Oh, we talked about it.
Real quick, I just want to say this is a 29-lap stage. Go ahead.
Okay, 29. I was about to go there. I was to say, we estimated about 30. 29, so realistically, in order to make this one on one stop, you got to go 15 on one run and 14 on the other. That would put you in your window. Some guys can go a little bit further than that, so I expect most, if not everybody, to be able to make this stage on one stop unless your fuel is just really in a bad situation and you cannot go more than 14.
I'd like to say hello to everyone watching right now. 29 viewers currently in the Fast Family League Showdown Elite 11. The first race to kick off round number 3 between Espark and Online Motorsports Association. I'm Mario Sakala. Harvick with me on the call for this one. Let's talk to some of these guys in the chat while we're at it. Thank you very much, John Frey, on that one. Hello to Ice Spiller MC. Freedom Gamer saying, come on OMA, just use Team Motors. Rock, thank you for the compliment. Same to you, Freedom Gamer. Going up on here. Hello to you,
You got a points update.
We actually do have a points update while we were at it. Take it away, Slide Job.
How about that? Yeah, so we saw both teams shuffling in the front, some strategy played in that stage as far as pit stops go, but it's the high seed that's going to take stage 1. Espark is going to dominate stage 1, 49 points to 6, leaving only 3 drivers from OMA in the top 10, 8th, 9th, and 10th. So if OMA is going to pull it back, they're going to have a really great stage 2.
Goodness gracious, what a start from Espark. One of the best NASCAR Heat Leagues on Xbox at the moment. 49 to 6. They had a team strategy, Harvick, coming in, that they were going to work together, no doubt about that, and right now that hard work is paying off on the bottom.
Indeed, we talked about it pre-race. You know, teamwork was going to be a big deal. These guys have done a pretty good job of, upholding that strategy, and it's worked pretty well. A 43-point gap to second now, or to OMA. Now, that is capable of being made up. We still have 2 stages left. A lot of points still left to gain, but they kind of know now where they need to be. Some of the OMA guys haven't worked as well as teammates. We saw a couple of them, wreck each other, get into each other, contact, things like that, and that's things you don't need to be doing if you want to get this win. These guys are tough. You gotta really work through it, be smart.
We got
They know where they stand now. They gotta work.
We got a bottom lane formed at the moment, led by Track Bar. Oh, he's on the apron! That's going to be close. I think he's going to get back in line. He just lost a bunch of spots from that. The 7 of Scott Hall, the 42. Big jumper went by him. That got a little bit close. We got a car in the wall as well. That's Blockman on the outside. Only car in the attic right now. But yeah, Track Bar got below the double yellow line. I think he got forced down there. Didn't gain any spots because of it. He was forming a line on the bottom line, and everyone read it, and they said, hey, I want to go to the bottom line. We got the 4 car on the apron. Hang on, folks. Oh, he's going to lay back. Good call there. That was Rainey there. That had gone below the double yellow line. Remember, you cannot do that at Daytona. If you put all 4 tires, we got another car way on the apron. I don't know who in the world that is. He merges back up the track, puts the 3 in the wall. Hang on, folks. There we go. The 41's around. Same with the 4. The 32 caution flags coming out for the first time. That's not a stage at Daytona, and there is the big one in stage 2 early on. I see Rainey in it. I see Trippy in it. We're racing them back to the stripe. I think Block got in it as well. The 18's got damage. That's March Nickel. Bit Skydiver, one of the lead drivers for OMA, you gotta watch out for. He was involved as well, and there you see the pace car off of turn 2. It all started, I think it was when the 6 machine of Asylum got really forced below the double yellow line, was on that skid pad you see on your camera to the right of Track Bar, merged back up into traffic. I think that was an appropriate merge. And then when he merged up, the field accordion back, and then we had chaos, Harvick.
Well, we'll have to see. I don't think officials will call anything on that. It depends if they deem it a force or things like that. But no, this is definitely the first time we've had a caution. First time, of course, these are all manual cautions. First time we're gonna see guys on pit road. The 24 gonna get one of his laps back. He was 2 down entering the stage, unless he had taken the wave around, but should still be 2 down. He's going to get a free pass right here, get himself 1 lap back, or back 1 lap down. That's good for OMA. Gives them a shot at hopefully getting another one of their drivers back into this thing and getting them more points. A lot of cars got damage out of that, though. It's a pretty big wreck. You're going to go down pit road, fix it. I expect everybody to be on pit road, and this is also going to adjust the pit strategy a little bit. They cannot make it from here.
It was either Slade or Scott Hall that got below the WO line. I think it may have been Slade, because we do have a new leader in the race, and that new leader is the 88 machine of Dohar. And you can see he's making its way down pit road. This should give these guys one more stop. Yeah, because we've got 22 laps to go now in stage 2, and everyone's going to have to make one more pit stop. Dohar going to beat Asylum, but will he win the race off pit road? Yes, he will. Track Bar may have just gone it on a different strategy. No, he's back in 3rd. So that was fun there on the exit. So Dohar will win the race off pit road. He's the race leader here in the opening round of the Elite 11 at the World Center of Racing.
And Marty, these guys are going to be, we talked about 7 laps short on fuel. When we go back to green, maybe 6 if you save a little bit here under caution. What that means, when they come down to pit again, and they will have to, there's a lot of options on the table for what they can do. They don't have to take nearly as much fuel as they would. They don't have to fill the tank all the way up. They only have to put about 7 laps worth of fuel in the car. And depending on how much time that takes and what your tires look like, I'm going to assume everybody just took 4 on this stop. So you can either take 2 tires or even no tires if you're really feeling like it. And you got to make sure you're in communication with your teammates that you come down pit road with, so that they do the same thing as you, and you can get out with some drafting help.
So we're ready to go. So we're ready to go back to green. Let's reset the field for you here. Dohar, the race leader, he selects the inside line here for the restart. Asylum will line up 2nd. 3rd will be Track Bar. 4th, Slade. 5th spot is Fluffy. 6th is Big Jumpa. And let's see who's back in the 7th spot. That's the 47 of Philly season for the Online Motorsports Association, as we go back to green here into the restart zone. Well, we're going one more lap, excuse me. And I think that may be for the 24. So while we're at it, Harvick, one stage in, give me your thoughts on this race so far. It's definitely, though, what we expected.
Well, it is. There's been a lot of things moving around, a lot of good racing. Started off kind of like a freight train, but they got racy, really racy, and right there before this caution came out, they got extremely racy. We saw a big wreck, major wreck we've had today. We had another one in stage one involving Trippy, and I believe it was his teammate in the 12. That did not warrant a caution. But as you look right now, the top 6 cars are all Espark. The first car that's not Espark and is racing for OMA is at 47 in 7th place. So clearly right now, Espark has the upper hand. Once again, we're at Daytona. A lot of things can happen. Everybody's packed up together, and strategy will come into play. So this could very well change. We still got a lot of time on it.
Absolutely. Let's keep going through the field here on this restart. We'll find the 47 first off of Philly season. There he is. And something happened with another car. I think that may have been the 8. We can go through and find it real quick of Trippy Trick. See, his car just started to the left. I'm not sure what that was all about. But he's in the back of the pack for this restart. Let's see if we can get who's in position number 8. That's the 7 of Scott Hall for life. Here they come.
7 out of 8.
Yeah.
Oh, Espark.
Here they come off of turn 4. Pace car should be pulling into pit road this time. And yes, he does make the hard left-hand turn into pit lane. Dohar in control of the field to accelerate. We're back to green at Daytona.
Oh.
19 laps to go here in stage 2. These guys will have to pit with about maybe 4 or 5 laps to go. Unless we do get another caution out, then they should be good to go. Unless if the caution does come out with at least 15 laps to go or under. You see track park. Alexa, stop. Okay, that is probably the weirdest moment I've ever had while calling a race there. My echo just went off on me. So apologies for that. But yeah, track bar giving a nice little push there to Dohar. You got 3 Espark guys I can see on the bottom line there. Fluffy, the 3rd car inside. Now track bar and Dohar move up to the top side. Now into the neutral groove there as Dohar leads at the stripe. I believe that is his first green flag lap. He has led today, Harvick.
Yes, it is, and you see, once again, the bottom is eventually going to prevail here. We'll see if this outside has any chance. I don't think it's going to. They're going to get back relatively single file. It might take a little bit longer, but we'll go single file and just kind of ride for a little bit. Now, the question I'm going to ask you, Marty, I talked about the options you have when you come down pit road. However, what I didn't bring up is the fact that there's also a very large
Whoa, whoa,
pit
whoa, whoa, whoa,
window.
car on the wall, 2
That's
cars on the
great.
wall.
Oh boy.
Expert Racing got in the wall, and same with Thought Crane, both for OMA. Heavy front end damage to the Dallas Chevy Camaro. Solo car accident, though, we are hearing, and will stay green from that. Dohar, though, continues to lead. Sorry, Harvick.
Oh, you're good. Big moment right there. OMA did not need that. They're already down. They need to be able to fight back and gain points. That's certainly not helping their case. But going back to what I was saying, there's a really large pit window from where you can make it. You can make it from about 15 to go safely on fuel and top off your car. If you're maybe OMA or Espark, do you try to undercut the other team or have some guys try it and short pit early, get their stuff, and then come back out and see what they can gain, or do you just run this all the way out to the end of your fuel?
That's a common thing we see in NASCAR in these super speedway races. I would not be surprised if OMA tried to, we don't have access right now to their communications voice chat on the Discord. We're talking off of Xbox at the moment, as you can tell. I would not be surprised if they took that risk and try and short pit. If it works, you bring the gap back up big time. If it doesn't work, you're pretty much giving this one to Espark for right now. So the only way probably you didn't recover is if we're in stage 3 and all of Espark wrecks together. But we'll just have to see what happens.
Indeed, closing in on what should be about 16 or 15 to go there at the line.
Yes, it should
So
be.
that pit window is close to open.
And it is 15 laps to go there. Dohar with the race lead getting a nice push there from Track Bar. Third spot is Fluffy. Highest sky for OMA, and fourth is Philly Season. And we'll put the spotlight on him for right now. We got to go to the back here, so apologies again for the chaos there. He's in fourth. They give a nice little bump draft, and the field's going to accordion back. Fifth spot is, I'm trying to see, is that the 62 car of Doc Crane? And it is. Sixth spot is Drew. And then we got 3 cars, by the way, that have decided to hang out in the back of this pack. Are way behind the lead pack. One of them, obviously, the 8 of Trippy Tricks, who is way behind. Those are not the guys I was thinking of, though. Neither was Expert Racing. I'll show you who I'm talking about. It's the 18 of March Nickel, the 24 of Blockman, and once again, the 32 of Bit Skydiver. So these two are figuring something out. Just stay in the back of the pack. And once we get to the final laps of the race, make your move up to the front. I think that's what they're doing.
I agree, but I don't know if I'm in. I think they know their point situation. They get that information about the same time we do. And as a team, they do have 3 guys up here pretty well inside the top 10, which is good for them. But the problem is they need more than 3 if they're going to close this gap back down. There's a lot of Espark guys up here. They have over 6 guys outside the top 10 out of their 9. They need to change that if they're going to have any chance going into this final stage. They got to figure something out. I don't know if maybe they're attempting to save fuel. I don't think so, because I don't think it's possible unless you're just insanely good at saving fuel. And if you are, well then, credit to you, because you've done something amazing. But that's a lot of fuel to save. Almost 7 laps of fuel you got to save.
By the way, for those of you guys that are wondering in chat, no, I'm not putting bad vibes on Espark. I got a lot of respect for these guys. One of the best NASCAR Heat 5 leagues out there on the Xbox One right now. One guy popping out to the outside there. That is Drew, but no help. I think he's tucking back in line here once they get through the trial oval. Yes, he does. Still hanging out there with his teammate, Thought Crane. And that's going to help a little bit. That second train for a moment to merge into one CSX train led by Slade there in the 21 for Espark, and behind them it's the 42 of Big Jumper as they go down the super stretch. You see Drew trying to make a run there on the outs. He doesn't have any help. Everyone wants to stay on the bottom right now. They're all being conservative. Remember, that's one of the keys. We've been talking about this all broadcast long since the top of the show at 8:30. Gotta be conservative here. I decided for my final key, once we hit 10 laps to go, that's when we'll probably see a sprint race.
Oh, maybe not though at the same time, because unlike the first stage, with 10 laps to go, these guys know for a fact they have another pit stop coming. You don't want to get yourself in trouble, get any damage coming to that. So that could be something. And actually, I just thought of another idea. The other thing that those OMA guys might be doing, hanging outside the pack, maybe they have the intent of coming in earlier, and they want to be able to make sure they can gain as much time without having to risk getting hit or making contact with some of these other guys up towards the front. Come in as a team. There's, like I said, about 6 of them that are outside the top 10, just kind of hanging around back there. That could be something they're looking to do.
Possibly. We'll just have to see what happens here. If I am looking at this correctly, this is about maybe 15 cars in this single file line for right now. And obviously, the bigger the draft you have, or the bigger the draft line is, the faster the speed you go. If you remember back, I think it was last year it was, when 704 Games had that little NASCAR Heat challenge where you gotta be the fastest with the fastest time at a specific track would advance like a finale for a watch or something like that. I was a part of that, by the way, last year in Daytona, and the key was the low line, bigger draft, over 200 miles an hour. Obviously, you could use custom setups for that, is how you could get a faster time. And funny thing, by the way, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I actually got a 1-year Xbox Live Gold subscription. I think Rock, if you're watching still, I think you remember that, buddy, back in the day last year. Those were fun times back in NASCAR heat. As you can see, we got two guys working the outside there. That's Slade and Drew, and track bar side. He got the memo. He's going upstairs. He's going up to the bedroom. Let's see what happens here off of turn 4. Does he take a look inside there on the 88? That does not work. He tucks back in line, and that helps out Slade as well. He gets into third in front of his spin teammate in the 16. They just left Drew out to dry. He is in the words of Dale Jr., the turn lane.
Oh yeah, and you don't want to be up there, especially in his situation. He was trying to get some points for OMA. This is going to hurt his efforts quite a bit.
Absolutely, and I've actually been waiting to say that on the broadcast tonight, since we're at Daytona for the heck of it. But yeah, once again, your race leader currently, Dohar, he's led the most laps. Your top 3 are the only ones from Espark that have really led under green flag non-pit stop conditions. Dohar, Track Bar, and Slade. Slade's been pretty good on the outside, though, today. Harvick, remember, he got a lead. He made the first lead change with the pass on the high side. So if anyone wants to work on the top, if there's anyone you want to work with on the high side, it's going to be Slade.
Indeed, he really seems to know what he's doing, working the air, working the momentum that he gets from behind to be able to get runs and make moves on the outside, as well as working the side draft. If you're going to run the outside, you've got to know how to side draft to try to check up that inside line, slow the momentum down of them so that they don't get the run, because it's the shortest distance, it's the fastest way around here, especially in a pack. It takes a lot of effort.
Oh, everyone's coming down. Everyone is coming down.
Oh boy.
This is going to be a lot of fun here. Everyone got the memo. They are all coming down pit lane. We're racking them and stacking them up in the pits. I don't know what's up with that 62. I think that's what happens when you go to South Point. No offense, Brendan gone. Everyone going down pit road to top off on fuel. Look at that. I don't know what to say about pit road. We got a car that's...
take right here.
Absolutely. We got a car staying out, by the way. That's Trippy Tricks. And yeah, everyone's just going fuel only to make it the rest of the way. And Track Bar is going to come out with a race lead. But how will the exit happen? Look at that. It's a rowdy exit there.
Other guys out too.
They're all trading paint.
Saw another guy go by. Remember, you got to stay below this double yellow line, and you got a penalty.
Absolutely. And oh, there's one car that is on off of turn 2. Is that the 47? I think that's Philly Season. I think that's an improper merge. He had two right side tires above the double yellow line. I'm not too sure how Slide Job looks at it specifically, if it's all 4 tires or any amount of tires. But if it's 2 tires, that will incur a penalty for Philly Season, and it will not look good on the resume today for OMA.
He's been one of their faster cars too, so this is not something he or the team needs in their current situation. That's going to be if Slide Job does call that a penalty, which I believe he will. We got told in the meeting that we had. It is indeed. Thank you, Sideways. So yes, 47 are going to do a pass through. That's going to be costly. Could even cost him a lap. It might not. This track's pretty big. But these guys are also going really fast around here. So he's going to be racing to stay on the lead lap now.
Absolutely. So we focus back up front. This looks like we've got 6 cars. Yeah, 6 cars under a blanket. Nope, it's 7 cars under a blanket battling for the stage 2 win. At the stripe, we will have 4 laps to go, and your race leader is Track Bar, and in second, this is the highest he's been today. Scott Hall, he's been quiet all race long, but he is looking like he's going for a stage 2 victory. As we go through the field here, your top 2, top 3, obviously from Espark. 4th spot is from Espark. 5th is from Espark. 6th spot, I think, is from Espark. Yes, it is. Top 6, all occupied by Espark. Drew is the highest, currently he was in 7th, but he's in 6th, and he's not going to get any of the help. All the Espark guys know they're going to work together on the bottom. Leave the 12 out to dry.
We talked about it, and I see it happening here. These OMA got...
We may have lost Harvick there for a moment. We got 3 laps to go, though, in stage 2. Let's take a look and see who's in 8th position at the moment. That's 8th spot, led by Fluffy. 9th is the 41 of Toasted Gamers, and 10th is the 66 of NASCAR Chaos 15. 9th or 10th spot occupied by OMA. 8th and 9th are Espark. So right now, this is a dominant Stage 2. Once again, it is the perfect race Espark is having right now, and it could lead, and it will probably right now, should they keep this performance up, lead to a flawless and a landslide win that could advance them to the short tracks.
By the way, look ahead. I believe that might be the 47. Not completely sure. Can't quite tell.
That is the 3 of Expert Racing.
Whoever that is. 3. So that's another OMA guy. He's about to get lapped here soon. I'm pretty sure they're going to catch him. They're flying around here, and he has no help. So
I remember Expert got
a tough break.
I remember Expert got in that wreck earlier where he got in the wall. Solo car accident, did not bring out the caution one bit. I think he just got the blue flag to let the leaders go by. I think he's going to take the apron here. Remember, you cannot slow down this line or else that's going to be a major penalty. He's going to concur. They're going to the outside here for the final lap at the stripe in Stage 2. Top 6, top 7. Top 6, yes, is occupied by Espark right now. And Track Bar out in front. No need to adjust it right now. Having a perfect race at the moment. He started on pole so far. And has led, I believe, the second most amount of laps here in tonight's race. Expert Racing being the first car lap down should get the free pass here. As they come off of...
I'll tell you who that's not good for. His teammate. His teammate is also a lap down. So, not good for them.
Track Bar takes home Stage 2. Scott comes in second, and the 21 of Slay taking third. We'll get your top 10 here. Let's see here. Fourth spot is Dohar. Fifth is Big John Pa. Sixth is Asylum. Seventh is Drew. Eighth is Fluffy. Ninth, Toasted Gamers. And 10th is NASCAR Chaos. That is how Stage 2 looks. And Espark is gonna dominate Stage 2 once again. We'll get the official points results here in a little bit from Slide Job. Right now, Dale Jr. would be impressed. That Filter Time sponsorship, well, same with Blake Cook as well. Working out for both of them, seeing their Cup Series, NASCAR Heat Series, kick butt.
Yeah, no, these guys are dominating. Coming into this stage, the end of Stage 1, 43-point lead for Espark. It was 49-6, Espark on top. That's going to lengthen here, so OMA's got to get creative. We're pretty desperate right now as we come to the green.
So Track Bar going to be the leader to begin stage number 3, the final stage here. Second is Scott Hall for life. It is going to be about 33 laps to go, and it is. Let's see what happens as they dive into turn 1. Low line working pretty well here. Slade makes his way up to second, and Big John Pa's in third. Now remember, because it is 33 laps, gonna be a 2-stop stage, like Harvick said. So not really gonna be a sprint race with 10 to go unless we do get a caution after the first pit stop that could put everyone good to go the rest of the way. And there goes Track Bar to the outside. The door is open for Slade and Fluffy. It's the no-spin zone once again. Slade goes out to the front in that Wood Brothers Ford Mustang.
Yes, he does. Leading the Espark Brigade up here. They're doing a really good job coming back to the line here. Yeah, they're getting racy. I think, once again, though, as we've seen in the other 2 stages, they're going to single file out, just right around this bottom lane. That seems to be the preferred move out of everybody, especially Espark, because what do they have to lose? They're going to have a comfortable gap moving into the stage. No reason to race and jeopardize that.
Absolutely no doubt about that. Here goes the 66 trying to make a run down low NASCAR Chaos. He's in 5th position. Highest guy for OMA at the moment. But yeah, top 4 currently sweeping, belonging to Espark. As they come across the line, turn up those speakers. Let's crank it up for you.
Get the points when you come back.
Pace laps at speeds of 200 miles an hour, 2 by 2, and out to the front for the first time today. It is Big John Pa. Look at that man going out to the front of the field, and he had a nice push from one of the spin cars. I believe that was Fluffy, and it was. Having a good race now. That high side, a little bit getting turned down there on the volume for a little bit. The 41 trying to look to the outside for the runner-up spot. While we're at it, Mr. Slidejob, you have a points update.
Yes, sir. We talked about Espark having a margin going into stage 2, and OMA really needed to have a solid stage, and it just didn't happen. It was the same story, same song, second verse, really. Espark actually getting 50 points to OMA's 5. Only 2 drivers from OMA in that top 5, or top 10 rather. So the grand total so far 99 to 11. So OMA is really gonna have to come on strong in this third stage if they want any shot.
Slidejob, I do have 2 questions for you, real quick, as we do have a battle for the race lead. NASCAR Chaos to the inside, and if he does lead the lap at the light, it'll be the first lap that an OMA car has led today. Philly season working behind him. It's Philly underdog time for right now. Chaos to the race lead at Daytona. Second spot is Philly season. And look at who is in third. Marched Nickel. He hung out in the back of the pack, and now he is here in stage 3. He is ready to pounce on the leaders. And right now, OMA is having some fun right now. They occupy the top 5 spots.
Oh, indeed, this is what they need right now. 88-point difference going in here. They need to get everybody up here that they possibly can. This is a good start, getting 5 cars up in the top 5. Nice start. There is a 5-point gap between first and second when the points get totaled up at the end of this thing. So, nice if you can win for your team, get those extra points. But they need this.
The gap throughout the entire field has really widened a little bit. Let's go back and show you where Track Bar is, or show you where Scott Hall is. They are in the back of the pack. They are playing it safe. They know they've got a wide lead at the moment, 99 to 11, an 88-point lead. They don't want to risk losing that 88-point gap if they get involved in a big one. They're going to let OMA have their moments, because right now they're having some fun, but another challenge for the race lead. We focus our way back up to the front. Here comes Slade in the 21 on the outside. The king of the high groove, riding the cushion like he's Kyle Larson on a pavement track. Slade back out front, 47 in the wall. That's Philly.
Oh, they did not need that.
Absolutely, so he's going to lose a lot of spots there for right now. Going into turn 1, can Slade shut the door on the basement? Yes, he can. Chaos still in second. The 18 of March Nichols in third. And the 32 of Bit Skydiver up there as well. He's in fourth. K. Rainey, the highest Espark driver, or the second highest rather, currently running in the 5th position.
You look now, that pack, you saw them split up a little bit for a little while there. The second pack, though, with all the racing going on, is now starting to close up a little bit. Not quite back to the bumpers, these front guys, but they're all but there.
62 a little bit loose going into the tri-oval. That's Thought Crane there. He saved it, but now it is, again, a CSX freight train. No, we are not sponsored by them. We're not sponsored by Amtrak either. I just like to say it. While Slade's out in front, we got the single file line. I got 2 questions for you, Mr. Slide Job 1996. My first question is, after 2 stages, what is the biggest margin in any Fast Family League Showdown race this year? Do you happen to know or no?
Well, I believe I do. The biggest or the most scoring team in this tournament happened in round 1 when It was SXRL scored 424 points. So that was the biggest score achieved by a team. In the second round, we saw only one team break the 400 mark. We saw Shake and Bake score 411 in the second round. So, there's a couple high-scoring teams to come through the tournament so far.
Oh, look at this. A challenge by Chaos. Tried to go to the outside with help from March Nickel, but that did not work. They stayed behind the race leader, Slade G84 in the spin, number 21. I do have one more question for you, Anthony.
Sure.
Because I know you mentioned most points scored in a race. Actually, hold that thought. We got a challenge for the lead. Chaos has a run on the outside with 2 OMA cars behind him. Chaos trying to make a run in the neutral groove. The 18 almost time going 3 wide. They're 3 wide for 4th. Contact of the 18 to the wall. Marks Nickel. And everyone scatters and they go by. But now Slade with no help trying that outside line. Chaos tucks back in line in 2nd. So that was close there for a moment. And Track Parts made his way up to 5th. Now looks for 4th on Blockman. So as I was saying, by the way, Anthony, what's the biggest margin of victory by a team, or the biggest difference, I should also say rather, to the new folks at home doing math, in this tournament's history?
Well, let's see. So if you get your little calculator out there, the most scored was 424. The least scored was 220. So that's a margin of 204, being your largest. Talking about your slimmest, we had in round 2, a match was only decided by 2 points. We saw another one by 4 points. Little plug for Fast Family. Both of them, we were involved in it. So, but yeah, that's your high end. 204 to 2.
And we did get a lead change, by the way. NASCAR Chaos made a pass on Slade. And he's lucky that all that chaos is happening behind him for right now. Slade currently in 2nd. 3rd is Thought Crane. Side-by-side battle ahead. And that's the 4 machine of Rainey, who's got no help. He just lost 2 spots because of it.
Indeed, and you look now, these OMA guys, they're showing up, but they're still right now quite a bit behind the 8-ball. Remember, in this stage, every car on the racetrack will get points. And something both like you and Slide Job were talking about there a minute ago, Marty. It's going to be a little bit hard, I think, for Espark or OMA, which I think that one's out of the question as far as getting the most. But I think it's a little bit out of the question right now for Espark to take the most points. If you remember, this field is a little bit smaller than normal. We go from normally we had 20, 10 per team to just 9 per team. This race we are short 2 cars, so that's some points that both of these teams aren't getting. That could be a little bit of a disadvantage. It's still possible, but it's a little bit harder. But yeah, now OMA just needs to get the rest of their guys up here, work together as a team. These guys up front are doing a pretty good job of that.
Car on the wall with 47 to the walls all friendly season. They're stacking up. All they saved to know. 1 car around. That's the 6th of Asylums.
That's an Espark guy. He's in trouble.
Yeah. Solo car spin, though. Solo car spin. No yellow, so we stay green at the moment. That got a little bit crazy there in the back of the pack. You saw the 47 car get the wall, and then the 6 car tried to save it. Unfortunately, did not work out. That setup was just too loose for him to stabilize and keep that car straight, and it did not work. Bit Skydriver trying to make a run here on the outside with help from Blockman. And they got as well the 8 of Trippy Tricks, who's been quiet as well all day, but he's here in stage 3 in the lead pack. Meanwhile, Slade is going to get a run here on the outside, and he's got help from his teammate Track Bar. They almost both got up in the wall. They were up on the roof. And not upside down, and literally on the top of the house there. And Slade back out front there at Daytona, but the yellow flag is out. I believe they did call that a 2-car plus spin. That involved Asylums. There you see the pace car in turn 1. And that's going to change everything for right now, eliminating the strategy of the first pit stop. Everyone coming down This time, if you have just joined us while we are at it, this is the opening round of the Elite 11 of the Fast Family League Showdown between Espark and OMA. The current score 99-11 in favor of Espark, where we are waiting at the moment, letting everyone catch their breaths and come on down pit road with Slade out in front. I'd like to say hello at the moment to our 21 viewers watching on twitch.tv/WLRL20. Let's see what you guys are talking about right now in the chat. Scott Hall becoming the Slider King. They're hanging out with Repeat as well, who I've worked with before in the booth. He's a pretty cool guy.
As have I. Awesome.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, 99-11 the score for Espark. We'll let pit stops take place here as we are at it.
Marty, I'll ask too. What is our lap count?
Our lap count, by the way, at the stripe, we've got 18 laps to go here at the World Center of Racing. I know we really haven't been focusing on the lap count that much today, but I know we'll be focusing on it that much in the final lap. So these guys are going to be about 4 to 5 laps short, but if we do get another caution, that will eliminate the entire pit road strategy, and we'll have some insane racing at the end. Slade wins the race off pit road. While we are at it, I'm going to pause here real quick. I got to take care of something real quick as we get ready to go back to green. I will be right back in about 45 seconds.
Oh, and while we're waiting here, just to elaborate, about 18 to go. These guys get a max of 16 on fuel. We've seen most guys pitting about 15 laps into the run, so that's probably the magic number. You look, we're going to end up going green with about 17 or 16 to go, what should be 16. Do the math there. If you save under caution, which is not hard to do, just run around in fourth gear, maybe throw it in neutral. If you're on a wheel and you got a clutch, you can use that to your advantage as well. Save some fuel under this caution, save a little bit more under green. It's not impossible to cut out the stop. Of course, this is all assuming we go green all the way to the end. I personally think we are going to get pretty rowdy here towards the end of this thing. Going to be, like I said, about 16 to go when we go green. Tempers and tension going to be high.
This is going to be intense. We had one car stay out, and that was the 47 of Philly season, but I don't know what's happening here with these drivers. Oh, these are the lap cars, I believe, that are making their way down pit road, unless they are coming
They can top off if they want.
I believe that's all the cars from OMA, except for one car, which is the 42 of Big John Pa. This is an interesting situation. You think they know something that they don't, that Espark doesn't?
Well, I know Big John is Espark. I think some of these guys are actually Espark as well. No? Okay, so I'm going to tell you what's happening here. You guys might have heard our pace car driver. He's done a great job tonight. Okay, sideways chime in there. They were allowed to come down pit road and top off on the fuel. Now, what's going to happen here, more than likely, it should go this way. Those guys that came in to top off, they're going to forfeit their positions. They will start at the rear of the field. But they have a little bit more fuel, and I was talking about it, Marty, while you were gone, but we're going to end up going green with about 16 to go, which puts them, the magic number has been about 15 laps. The fuel number actually does start at 16, but it switches. You might be able to cut out a pit stop if you can save a little bit. So coming down to top off, giving yourself that little bit extra fuel over some of these Espark guys, not a bad move at all. It helps you get a little bit closer to saving and making it, and that's what they need to do right now. Not a bad call at all. They need to try something here.
These guys are going to be about maybe 4 to 5 laps short, like I said. Before
I won't even be that much.
Yeah, possibly that. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. So we reset the field for you. The 66 machine of NASCAR Chaos is the race leader. He selects the inside line for the restart. Track Bar lines up in second position. Third is the 16 of Fluffy. And fourth is the 7 of Scott Hall. Pace car will make the left-hand turn at the pit road, and we get ready to rack them and stack them once again for the restart. Chaos brings the field into the Geico restart zone, and we are back to green at the World Center of Racing. 15 laps to go, and Harvick, we were talking about it right on that empty indicator. This is gonna be close. We could see some fuel strategy pay off to the end. So if I'm some of these, this is a tough track, obviously, to save fuel. If you're about maybe a lap short, what do you do?
Well, and this is the advantage that those guys.
Well, I think he was saying this is the advantage of those guys that came in to top off. So we'll just have to see, though. Track bar, though. Nope, he's back. Go ahead.
Alright, yeah, sorry, my controller fell asleep. Gotta love when that happens. But anyways, no, so these guys that came in and topped off, they, I think, looked ahead, thought a little bit, and said, you know what, we're going to be going green with 15 to go. That's really right on the money. It starts off at 16 and switches within that lap. You get about 15 on fuel in there. That puts them a lot closer to being able to save. You're not even, if you pitted there and topped off.
Whoa, there we go, there we go. 62. On the apron, everyone accordion's back. That crane goes around. Got some contact with Expert Racing, their teammates, and they've been duking at it a lot today.
That should be a caution if I am
We'll
not
have
mistaken.
to see.
We'll have to wait and see.
Let's see here. Is the pace car on? No, we're staying green. We are staying green with 13 laps to go.
Oh, wait, no, we're not. I see the pace car moving.
Pace car is moving. The yellow flag is out. And this will change everything, Harvick. Remember when I said that this would be a sprint race when we get to the final 10 laps? Get ready, folks, because you have not seen anything just yet. You're about to see possibly the most insane finish we have had this season. I can't guarantee it, though, but we could see it.
Well, and I'm going to tell you what this does. This is going to be a little bit of a reset button. There's two things that are going to go on right here. First, OMA, you saw a lot of those guys involved in starting that incident and also involved in it and getting damaged. This kind of helps them a little bit one way because they need to take a look at this and say, okay, you know what, guys? We need to rally together as a team, work together, not wreck each other, get ourselves up here because we need everybody that we possibly can. Ideally, we need all 9 of our cars in the top 9 if we can do it. That is right now
look
our
at that
shot as a team.
About half of the field, if not a majority of the field, stayed out, trying to save gas on the pace speed. And the yellow as well, kind of when you think of it, is what they want, so they can go the distance. So they are only going one stop. A bunch of these other drivers right now. This could be their second. This could possibly be their third stop of this stage. So if I'm looking at that right, that is about 11 cars that stayed out, with the last car being Philly season. So, now how do you think this happens? No doubt about it, we're going to see some drivers going to the high side more than ever we've seen in this race tonight. And we could possibly see, when we get to about 5 laps to go or less, so a bunch of mirror driving coming out of these drivers. Now I'm going to put this... Yeah, go ahead. Take it.
Well, and remember, with 5 laps to go, caution's also closed, and I think that's when you'll really see intensity pick up, because then they know they're not going to get slowed down anymore. They need to get all they can. But also, these guys that stayed out, yes, they can save some fuel under caution, not hard to do. Not all of these guys came in and topped off. So a few stayed out here that came in and topped off when we were coming with the lap cars that pitted. Those others on the lead lap came and topped off. They're all in a slightly better position than these guys that did not come top off. However, even the guys that didn't come top off, pretty close. I think they can save under this caution and be good, but it's going to be very borderline. Those guys that came in, though, under this caution, most of them had damage from that crash. They are not going to have to save at all. They will not be worried about fuel. They can go full send and get whatever they can. No worries on the fuel mileage.
When we go back to green, by the way, this will be a 10-lap shootout. So this is going to be a loud one. I wish we were at Talladega so I could quote the late great Barney Hall. May God rest his soul. There ain't nothing in the world like at Talladega, I believe is what he said. They don't race them anywhere else. But yeah, double file restart once again with 10 laps to go. Keep in mind when we hit 5 laps to go, the cautions will be disabled. So that's when the sprint race is going to happen. And don't be surprised if that big one happens with 5 laps to go or less. If that happens, that will definitely change everything, what happens in this race. So let's reset the field for you, as this could possibly be the final restart of the race. We will have to see. Track Bar will line up as the race leader. Scott Hall for Life is in the 2nd position. Dohar is in 3rd. 4th is Slade G. In the 5th position is the 66 of Thought Crane. Let's see who's in 6th position. It's going to be the 18, and something is going on with the 8 again. I think you know what Trippy Tricks is doing? I think he's getting ready for next season of NASCAR Heat 6, or whenever the DLC for the Daytona Road Course, if that happens, comes out. I'm just messing with him. 6th spot is it's Marched Nickel, and then 7th spot is Drew LMAO. Is Espark going to come home the winner and advance the short tracks, or could we see the miracle on the asphalt done by the Online Motorsports Association? Number 2 versus number 8 respectively, and it comes down to a 10-lap shootout, 25 miles to determine who will advance to the quarterfinals. Pace car makes the left-hand turn into pit road, and back up to the gears they go, and look at that, Scott Hall spun the tires. That's going to help out Espark big time. Track Bar a good jump, Dohar in 2nd, and now NASCAR Chaos is in 3rd.
Well, and their teammate, I'm almost wondering if maybe he did that to potentially... Whoa,
big car in the wall, and that car just stopped. That's a 2-car accident. 3 cars, rather. March Nickel, Bit Skydiver, and Rainey. 2 of those guys from OMA, 1 of them from Espark. That's a yellow. We're racing them back to the line, and that is another caution flag. They're all going to stay single file.
We didn't talk about it.
Yeah, they're all going to stay single file, and look at this path that could be for the lead here with the stripe. Dohar versus Track Bar. It's going to Track Bar here as the yellow comes out with 9 laps to go. Now we get to catch up. We get to catch our breaths even longer.
Yes, sir. But you know what that means? Hey, pit road's going to be open again, so we're going to see some moving around there. If anybody chooses to, obviously those cars with damage are going to head down and repair that. But also, this is going to put us closer, or even closer to that 5-lap window. We're probably going to go green with maybe 6 to go, so we might only have cautions on for a lap.
Let's see, this is 9 laps to go. The pit stop would happen with 8 to go. A second pit stop could be 7 to go. And yet, you're right, 6 laps to go here. I thought for a moment they were all doubling up. I thought we were going back to green instantly. Oh, we got a crash under the yellow flag. That may be a lag situation, but March Nickel just got spun under the yellow, and he's looking for somebody, I think. He is not happy, and that's some heavy rear end damage.
Officials aren't going to take too kindly to this.
And that M&M's car is junk.
If he is indeed looking for somebody, or he was intentionally turned under the yellow, officials definitely not going to take too kindly to that. OMA, that's the last thing they need right now is any sort of penalty like that. Hopefully it was just a lag incident, and the 18, his temper is under him. He's not going after anybody. Don't want to see anybody get in trouble for letting their emotions get the best of them.
That could be the situation here, and Track Bar is going to select the outside line. Now, we have not seen anyone select the outside on a restart yet today. But yeah, that's interesting. What do you think of that move there, Harvick?
Well, I would say look at the cars around him. He's got teammates all around him. I think this is a pretty safe bet. I don't know if maybe they have some kind of plan worked out amongst themselves to just get them all lined up. I don't know exactly. I'm not in their heads. Some of these guys I know, it would be kind of scary if I was in their heads. But regardless, these boys, they're smart. They've been dominating. They know what they're doing. You know what? At the end of the day, they have a pretty handy points lead. They might just be looking to have a little bit of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. How can you not love having fun right now? So about half of the cars came in. So I believe we should get the one to go this time at the stripe. We'll just have to wait and see. Meanwhile, while we are at it, let's talk to everyone in the chat, to our 26 viewers. In the words of Rock NASCAR 388, and I 110% agree with him, the aggression has picked up. Worm Riders, or excuse me, Freedom Gamer actually says pace car about to lead the most laps. And Haskell says he's on the lead lap for sure. But yes, this is going to be intense, and you have not seen anything yet. Let's see if this is going to be the restart here, or if we're going another lap. I think we would go another lap here, but everyone doubled up. I think we're good to go back to green. We are going back green this time by Track Bar, the leader. Dohar lines up in second. Third is Chaos, and fourth is Drew. Back to green, and what a jump for Track Bar in the 37. Ooh, and he's going to cut down low in front of Dohar. That was probably a strategy move there with 7 laps to go. But Track Bar better be careful, because he does not want to get too far out front.
Yeah, that could definitely hurt him. It depends how nice his teammates want to be and how much speed that his team is going to have and these guys around him are going to have when they get to him, and how they feel about if they want to push him or just boot him.
Well, your top two right now
Looks like
are
they're going to be nice.
Yeah, well, your top two currently right now are Espark. Third position is Drew for OMA, and then fourth is Chaos for OMA. Fifth is Blockman for OMA, and I'm trying to see who that is in sixth. I think that's one of the spin machines, and that is, I believe that's the 16 of Fluffy. 6 laps to go here at Daytona, and they're all staying single file. And 24 got forced up the high side, and he's going back a few spots. Same with the 66 of Chaos. He's in the wall, and that could do it for OMA. That may be the final nail in the coffin, but we'll just have to see what happens. Now, when do you make your move on the high side?
Well, when we get back to the line right here, 5 laps to go. That means no more cautions. You'll see the aggression level pick up, but what that also means, the risk is higher, because if you make a move, you get put in the wall, you wreck, you're done. Nothing else to save you. Unless everybody in front of you wrecks, you gotta be careful. But OMA's gotta get crazy, get really desperate right here, and make really aggressive moves to get themselves up here. As you saw right there, their cars got up in trouble there, got up on the wall. That's going to hurt them both aerodynamically and probably their pride a little bit, and that's not what they need. They need to regather themselves, pack up, and go to the front.
Doc Crane went down pit road. He's out of it. Drew LMAO's up to third position. They're side by side for fourth, and it's 2 fourths. Look at that on the outside. A move up there for fourth position. That's one of the spin cars again. Is that Slade in the 21? I think that is. Who has made his way into fourth, and that is. He's got Fluffy in fifth. Let's see if the spin cars can work together to see if they can make this a top 4 show. And then sixth position, he's been quiet all day. It's the 8 of Trippy Tricks. 10 miles to go. That's the 62. He's exiting pit road. He'll be good to go. 41 car on the outside. Toasted Gamers, that's not going to work out well for him. Same with the 16 of Fluffy. But I think his teammates let him back in line. This is looking very good right now for Espark down the Daytona Super Stretch. Here comes Big Jompa with a move on the outside. He's got some help from the 24 of Big Flock of Blockman. And behind him is the 6 of Asylums. Gonna be 3 laps to go here at the stripe, and it's still Track Bar, the Stage 2 winner.
Track Bar's been one of the fastest cars all day, and now he's gonna have to work.
Look at this run! Look at this!
Oh boy.
Drew had a run on the inside from Dohar, but Dohar just shut the door on him.
Yeah, you'll see that. He's in the 88. That's pretty well known for blocking by probably one of its most famous drivers in Dale Jr., so living up to that name pretty well with nice restrictor plate blocks.
Ooh, look at that. That was a close call there by the 16 of Fluffy, trying to force his way up the middle and go 3 wide for the 4th position. 3-car breakaway. It's about 2-car length lead between the 12 and the 8 for 3rd position. The Popsicles went up in the air. 2 laps to go, and Track Bar is still out in front with Dohar behind in 2nd.
Now watch when we get close to the end. It's probably happened on the last lap or maybe coming to the white. Watch if they really want to, and I think Espark, with the troubles that OMA had a few laps ago and a couple of their drivers having to go down pit road, I think they have this locked up on points. Watch for these guys to back off a Track Bar and try to form up a run to get around them. We'll see if they do it though.
This time by, it will be the white flag. 2.5 miles to go here at the World Center of Racing. It's the number 37 Connell Chevy Camaro of Track Bar out in front, trying to win it for the Espark Cup Series. Into turn 1, Dohar giving him a nice push, and they're pulling away from Drew. They're going to tandem it out to try and see who's going to be the first one at the stripe. Down the super stretch for the final time. Dohar looks high. The 37 puts the block, and that it could be what the 37 needs. Dohar looks to the outside, but he goes back down low into turn 3 for the final time. They're just about a mile away from home, and it's going to be Mr. Track Bar 33 for Espark. He's led the most laps today, and he's going to do it, but Dohar looks to the outside, and it's going to be 3 wide. Not going to work.
Oh,
Track Bar
Lord.
wins it.
What a finish.
Track Bar wins it at Daytona, and a good finish in the end. And it's looking good for Espark. We'll get the official points tallied up here in just a few moments, but a big win for the 37.
Indeed, great racing, really intense. Marty, you called it when they got under 10 to go, and especially 5 to go. It was going to be chaos. A lot of aggressive racing, a lot of moves out of desperation, and ultimately it looks like A, Track Bar's going to come home with a win, and B, looks like Espark's going to come home with a pretty handy win as well, but we'll get the points officially.
Coming into stage 3, the score was 99-11 in favor of Espark. And right now, the odds of Espark winning pretty good if you're betting in Vegas. We're gonna get the top 3. Excuse me, from each team. So top 3 from Espark and the top 3 from Online Motorsports Association. Then we will get the official total. But Mr. Track Bar 33, the race winner today in the opening round of the Elite 11 at the Daytona International Speedway. While we are at it, let's talk about the rest of the schedule coming up here in the Elite 11. Saturday, we return with a Talladega doubleheader. Sebby's Xbox Racing League returns to the track to take on number 3 ranked American Ethanol. Join Atlanta Racing, Tyler Dohar, and Rick James on the call at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And then at 10 p.m., it's the number 7 ranked team, International Virtual Racing League, taking on the number 10 Carolina Racing League. You can join Worm Rider, Wild Really C, and Rick James for that. Stay tuned to the Fast Family League Showdown Discord, as well as your favorite NASCAR Heat 5 Facebook groups for stream details. And then they're back, and then next Tuesday, the Elite 11 will continue as number 6 eNASCAR Elite takes on number 5 No Name Racing at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Join Repeat Frozen Toes and J-Mac for that. I know the winner of this matchup will be watching that closely, as they'll be taking on the winner of eNASCAR Elite and No Name Racing. Then the Elite 11 will wrap up on Saturday, September 19th at Talladega, as number 4 Thursday Night Thunder meets number 9 North American Online Racing. Once again, stay tuned to who will be on the call and who is streaming in the Discord, as well as the Facebook pages. Let me get out of this lobby. By the way, the fastest lap of the
You don't want to race?
I don't want to race. I don't have my wheel hooked up. But Harvick, while we're getting the top 3 from each side in here, first off, give me your thoughts on the entire race.
I thought it was a really great race. OMA, they tried. Ultimately, they didn't have all the things go their way. They had a lot of struggles working as a team. A lot of contact made with their teammates got them in trouble, and I think that's something that they will need to look at as a team if and when they return to this next year. But as a whole, great
Yeah.
race. We saw some single file, we saw some double file, a lot of action. It was really, really fun to watch. I'm happy. Really, really good finish there as well to top it all off.
Absolutely. Blockman, if I could ask you real quick to mute your mic, you're echoing there just a little bit there. While we were waiting for Track Bar to show up, I will start by talking with the man that finished second in not just the race today, but also for Team Espark, and that's JRM Dohar 88. Dohar, I will start off with the first two stages of the race, dominating that. I don't know if you guys heard the score, but after two stages, it was 99-11. Was the game plan to stay conservative and work with the teammates the entire race?
Absolutely. I mean, once you get all these guys out here together, that's the name of the game, is work as a team and a cohesive unit. Our team is special because it's made up of guys from all the different divisions of eSpark. You got Cup guys, Xfinity guys, Truck guys that are all coming together for this one deal. And, a bunch of Pro League guys. We're used to competing against each other on the track, so it's tough to get in the mindset to help one another sometimes. But overall, I'm tickled to death at how well we worked as a team. I was really stressed going into the race, just because, we weren't going to have some of our key people. But I got to really give a thanks to Mr. Trackbar, who he's not going to be able to do his interview. So I got a special thing for when his interview slot comes up. But he took time out of his busy day to come and race with us because we were going to be short one guy. And I just really appreciate him for coming out and racing with us. He's the best in the game, hands down. Should be the Pro League champion, but the wall at Bristol says otherwise. Tons of respect for Track Bar and all my team, and OMA for running us super clean. At a plate track on presets, we tried to make it as racy as we could. It's tough to get runs, but we worked cohesively as a team, and that was the thing, was communication. The guys let me be the leader, let me call the shots, and I really appreciate them for doing that, and I'm forever in their debt. I'm glad we can move on to the next round.
Well, Dohar, technically this should be Track Bar's interview right now, so go on and make the statement.
Well, the Continental Chevrolet was really good. I was holding in a big old deuce that whole time. I really needed my Scott's toilet paper, but we were doing really good there. Big John hit me like 16 times, and Fry Dog kept yelling at me, and I kept yelling back at him, and I think Slide Job said I was lagging, but I really wasn't. I was just, like my double wide, my Wi-Fi went out for like a second, but I didn't lag. But overall, great race. I'm the best. I'm number one. I'm Track Bar.
That's our show. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just kidding.
End it
right
there.
Yeah, absolutely. Harvick, I'll let you take the top two right now for OMA.
All right, we'll start with. I don't know exactly what order you. I don't know what happened to Bit. So we'll take.
Take Block, man.
Excuse me. We'll take Block. All right. Man, you there? You got us?
Yeah, I got you. 10-4.
Man, you really. I saw you earlier in the race. Went a couple laps down early on. Were able to get those back, obviously. Ended up coming home with a really good finish. Walk us through your race, and also, as a team, how do you guys feel about your efforts tonight?
Honestly, we didn't really have the cars today, but we tried our best and ultimately didn't finish where we wanted to, but it's something.
Alright. I'll ask you too, what as a team, how did you feel you guys did in the sense of teamwork? I know I saw a little bit of contact between some of you guys, and also traffic for you. How was traffic?
Honestly, it was just a very difficult day. Traffic was pretty horrible for me. I was trying to get out of the leader's way, but there's really no area I could have gotten out of the line, so it was just a difficult day for me. Stage 2 was just a complete mess of me trying to get back on a lead lap, but it worked at the end, but I only had 15, 16 laps to try and get up to a higher position, but yeah, it's just a difficult day for us. But thank you to OMA for trying to work hard, and yeah.
Well, good job for you. I know, like you said, or like I said, got caught a couple laps down, came back from that. Good comeback for you. Came home with a really solid finish tonight. Congrats on that, and good job as a team tonight as well.
Thanks so much, man.
Now, don't know.
I believe it's
Have
sideways.
Bit back.
I don't
No,
think
it's
Bit's
not. That's a
back.
pace car. That's
yeah, that's
that's
right.
all the interviews we have. Oh no, yeah, that's all the driver interviews we have. What?
What about Frey Dog? Or is he a part of the ownership?
He's the team captain, so we'll get him
okay.
in a moment.
Sounds good. Anthony, take it.
So, let's do a commercial break for about a minute, and we'll be
Okay.
right back with the points.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for that while we're at it. Please enjoy this footage I took earlier today of me racing at Daytona.
Where's Phil?
He got off.
Do we got to include our audio in this one or not?
Nope.
No.
Oh, we're hot. We're live. We're live, Dohar.
Well, I can go again if you want.
They only had one driver come in? Oh.
Well, Drew put Dohar in the wall.
Who was our third? Oh. We got third on Esparks again. Go ahead, sorry.
I think Track Bar has a beef with everyone.
Yeah, me and
Some
Dohar have a
point or
beef.
another.
He doesn't know that.
So you had like assist
got,
on?
man.
He knew you had assist on? Is that what you're saying? Like game assist?
Oh, so track bar was on. Wait,
All right, we got the points ready to roll.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and we do have the official points tally. So take it away, Mr. Slide Job 1996.
Thank you. So, we saw Espark take a dominant first two stages, and we really thought that OMA would need a huge comeback, and it just fell short. In that third stage, we had OMA come home with 222 points, Espark 277, which if you're keeping track at home is going to be a grand total of 233 points for OMA to Espark's 376. So unofficially, Espark will be moving on to the quarterfinals, the round of short track. So we are going to talk to Mr. Frydog here, who is the not the owner but the team captain for Espark. So Frydog, why don't you tell us how proud you are of your team moving on to the fourth round with a dominating performance?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really proud of my guys tonight. We came together. I mean, we put probably the best 9 on the track. We had an agreement with them. If they can only get 8 or 9, we were only going to put 8 or 9. So, that's why we didn't have 10 against them tonight. So we made it a fair race. And I'd like to give a shout out to OMA for coming out. I know a lot of those guys are in the Espark series. It was kind of cool seeing the top 10 were actually Espark drivers. They're at a couple points. But I'd also like you guys to say, think about, I'm out here in California right now, and there's a lot of fires going on, and there are a lot of people losing their homes. So everybody get a little shout out for that place.
Absolutely. Their thoughts are our thoughts are for them tonight as well. And congratulations on unofficially moving on to the quarterfinals. We'll see what the results bring. But it looks like we do not have anybody from the OMA left. So we would like to thank them. And I know they do have a Twitter. So check out OMA on Twitter. And I'm sure those guys would love for you to follow and join their league. So go give them a follow and check them out. Wonderful league. They put on a great show today as well. But we are done with the first race of round 3, and what a fantastic race it was. We only had a few cautions there at the end. One caution through almost all of the laps. So what a fantastic job both these teams brought to the table. So we will see them move on. I'm going to send it back up to the boys in the booth to talk about the 2 races, doubleheader coming up next on Saturday.
Thank you very much there, Mr. Slide Job 1996, and a great job to you up in the tower tonight. Let's talk about these next 2 races we got coming up here, Harvick. Saturday, the Elite 11 returns with a Talladega doubleheader. Sebby's Xbox Racing League returns after a bye from the road courses to take on the number 3 ranked American Ethanol. Atlanta Racing, Mr. Dohar himself, and Rick James will be on the call at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And then at 10 p.m. also Eastern Time, number 7 International Virtual Racing League taking on the number 10 Carolina Racing League. Warm Rider Wild Willie C and Rick James will be on the call for that. Stay tuned to the Fast Family League Showdown Discord, as well as your favorite NASCAR Heat 5 Facebook groups for stream details. And Harvick, before we get into any of that, I just want to say, my gosh, is Rick James going to be a busy man on Saturday night?
Yeah, he definitely will be. Rick's great at what he does, though. One of the best in the game. Y'all are going to like hearing him if you haven't already. But he's been around a lot in this tournament, and rightfully so. Dude's talented. Nice to see him have a doubleheader there.
One of the best in the NASCAR Heat commentary business, no doubt about that. So the Talladega Super Speedway, longer than Daytona, 2.66 miles, so a little bit shorter when it comes to the lap length. However, though, Talladega, I'm expecting possibly crazier racing than we had tonight, because obviously with Talladega, not is it just the longest track, but also there's another lane, so we could see some constant 3x3x3 racing, and it is a lot possible as well, just like we saw tonight at Daytona, to pass on the high groove in the turns.
Indeed, it will be a lot wider. Carry a little bit more speed there at the end of the straightaways, as it's slightly bigger. It's about 2.66 miles compared to Daytona's 2.5, so slightly longer. Slightly higher speeds, a little bit wider, more side-by-side racing. It is definitely fun. Talladega is another fun track. Of course, there's always the fear of the big one.
Absolutely. Once again, like I said, at Daytona tonight, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when that ticking time bomb is going to come in. And Sebby's Xbox Racing League was phenomenal in round 1. Had the most points in round 1, so they got the bye in the road courses. How do you think they're going to look on the super speedways?
Well, I think that's interesting. I can say I know quite a few guys in there as well. A lot of talented plate racers in there. But American Ethanol has been very, very fast throughout the tournament as well. Currently, on their team, they have NNR Asbill. He's the only driver, as Slide Job was talking about in the round 2 recap, as well as this round's previewing last night. Asbill is the only driver to get maximum points in every race so far that he's been in. So you got a lot of fast guys in that. That's going to be a really good race, and it's a plate race, so it's always a little bit of a wild card.
Absolutely. Then we've got Carolina Racing League and International Virtual Racing League, 10 versus 7 respectively. I'm expecting this one to probably be a closer battle too.
And if I may, I would
go
like
ahead.
to thank the commentators. Thank you, B Sports Marty and K Harvick fan, for doing a fantastic job all night. You guys are awesome. And thank you to OK Sideways for being an excellent pace car, and all the officials and everybody helping out tonight. Appreciate it. It was a blast.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Harvick, final thoughts before we wrap up this broadcast.
I had a lot of fun. Nice way to end off your birthday. By the way, I never said this around, but thank
Yeah,
you,
happy
Sludge,
birthday.
for pointing that out earlier. I don't know how I feel about that, but it's all right. But no, I'll also say, by the way, OMA's Twitter is at OMA_league. For anybody that is interested, go follow them if you're interested in joining them. I just wanted to throw that out there. Also, just in general, great racing. Espark coming home with a pretty dominant win, but they had to work for it. It wasn't completely easy. Saw guys like Drew LMAO and 47 up front. A lot in that race. A lot of moving around parts as far as guys, as you would expect at Daytona. A lot of great racing. I enjoyed it. I think if that's how the rest of this round's going to be, you're in for treats the whole way through.
This round will be a treat. I know next round will be the rest of these rounds are going to be treats, no doubt about it. So yeah, that's going to do it. Once again, stay tuned to the Discord and your favorite NASCAR Heat 5 Facebook groups for stream details on the Talladega doubleheader. I'll give it a quick shout out as well. This stream will be back on the air Thursday night as the White Lightning Racing League has round 15 at the Martinsville Speedway, qualifying time 7:40, stream time 7:55. And race time at 8 o'clock. On behalf of K Harvick Fan 429, the Commissioner, Mr. Slide Job 1996, and everyone with the Fast Family Racing League, this is Marty Sakala signing off. Espark wins it and moves on to the short tracks. Thank you all for joining us, and so long from Daytona.